Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We welcome all of you for the fifth session today. One session we devoted to Gita in 4 sutras. So today's session we will discuss on spiritual compassion versus misplaced compassion or misplaced material compassion. You know, during Srila Prabhupada's times, once Prabhupada came to Pune city and he met one very wealthy businessman, very popular businessman here in Pune, Mr. Bari Malhotra. In Pune, there is a TMT, they call it a TMC, Top Management Consortium. So the 50 topmost richest people of Pune come to that. And he was the president of that. So he welcomed Prabhupada to Pune, and Prabhupada came to his house. Bari Malhotra ji was asking him, he said, Swamiji, I have been a member of Lions Club. I have been a member of Rotary Club. For several years, such kinds of clubs, he has been the president for decades. And he has done a lot of welfare activities for the people. So he was asking Prabhupada a very important question. I know that you are coming to Pune to build a temple of Krishna here. But my question to you, why you people purchase so much marble and make a very beautiful big marble temple in different cities of the country? Instead, I feel, why not sell all this marble and have that money for feeding the poor people? Is it not a much greater service? He asked Prabhupada. So Prabhupada told him, okay, let me tell you a short story and then you should answer this question. And then Prabhupada said, imagine you are a very rich man, say a small boy, son of Tata, Birla, or somebody like that, very rich man. You see him wandering in the street and the boy is sweeping and he's wearing tattered clothes. He seems he has nobody to care for him. And say one man saw the child and thinking that the child is crying, so he gave him some bread to eat, bread and jam. So the child picked up the bread and jam and he ate and continued crying. Then another man, second man, looked at the child. Maybe he's crying because he is sick. So he gave him some medicine. The child picked up the child and continued crying. Another man thought the child is crying because of tattered clothes. So he gave fresh new clothes for the child to wear. The child wore the clothes and still cried. But the fourth man looked at the child and felt, oh, this child is crying because he has become an orphan, wandering in the street all alone. Let me find out. Then he found out his father is one of the richest men of the country. And he picked up the child, took him home and asked, why did you leave the father? And the child said, I had a quarrel with my father. Then he made him understand his father well. And then he made a phone call to the father. And the father arranged a plane, chartered plane to come and picked up this small kid and thanked the man who gave the kid back to him. And then he took the child to his home. When the child went home, what do you think happened at home? The father gave abundant food to the child, varieties of food, varieties of clothes, very big house to live. Anyway, Prabhupada told this little story and told him, out of the 4 men, who did the best service? He asked. So Malhotraji, without a second thought, he very confidently said, naturally the 4th man. Because one fellow gave food, one fellow gave a clothing, one fellow gave a medicine. But the last fellow connected the orphan child back to his father. And father could provide everything to the child. So when Prabhupada heard it, he said, yes, that's what we are doing in ISKCON. He said, Malhotra asked, really? And Prabhupada said, yes, all the people wandering in this world all have become orphans, anath, because they have forgotten Krishna, they have turned away from Krishna. So we make anath people into sanath. So they asked, how do you do that? So sanath means they have a master now. So we bring them to a temple and we teach them the chanting of Hare Krishna. We relieve them of all the bad habits. We make them clean enough, pure enough, and then they live such a pure life. At the end of the life, the Vaikuntha plane, which is the God's plane, comes and takes them back to the spiritual abode, from where they have come originally. They go back home, back to Godhead. When Malhotra heard it, he was so thrilled. He said on that very day to Prabhupada, Swamiji, now this was such a convincing answer to me. From this very day, I will wear $1 of Krishna in my neck. So he wore a gold chain with this much size Krishna, one Murti of Krishna on his chest. Even today he is wearing, you will see him. So he became a Krishna devotee by this one turning point in his life. Then he understood that there are varieties of organizations offering social service in the form of food and clothing and, giving home, giving notebooks, giving uniforms, giving some facilities for people. But amongst, because they are all just giving something for the body. And this body, when it dies, again you are reborn. Then you again have to, suffer in the second life, third life, fourth life, and so on. So the best service we can do is to make the Anath living heritage Sanat. One time, Prabhupada was walking in a Juhu beach along with some disciples. So there was a dog, a bulldog, which was coming. And the bulldog was having a leash, which was held by one very big army officer. So the army officer was very tall and hefty, and he was moving his hands and walking very majestically, and carrying the leash in his hand. And the dog also was walking very majestically, looking up very, very confidently. So Prabhupada asked the devotees, look at the dog, how confident he is. Why is he so confident? So the disciples couldn't say. So Prabhupada told them, because he got a capable master. If the dog was a street dog, he will get stoned by so many people. He may be suffering without food, but he has a capable master. So the dog is not Anath, the dog is Sanat. And Prabhupada quoted, Bhavantamevanucharan nirantaraha prashanta nishesha manoratantaraha kadahamaikantika nitya kinkaraha praharshayishyami sanatha jivitam. So the meaning of this verse, this is from Stotra Ratnam by Yamunacharya. He says in this verse, Bhavantam evan charanyarantara. My dear Lord, in this world I have left your spiritual abode and fallen down to this material world. And here I am wandering like a street dog with no master. When will the time come when you will accept me as one of your servants? And I can faithfully serve you, loyally serve you. And I will no more be Anath. I can become Sanath. Like that he is offering a prayer. So you will see Hanuman has a very capable master, Prabhu Ramachandra. So he has no fear. When Hanuman went to Lanka, Ravana was wondering, where is this Vanara coming from? Who are you? He asked. He said, I am Ramadut. Jai Shri Ram. Like that he said. I have no fear because Rama is my master. And Ravana was very angry. Oh, this fellow is a messenger from Ram. I will humiliate him by not giving him any seat. So he made him stand in the front, and he was sitting on a big seat like this. Go ahead, tell me. Then Hanuman thought, oh, you're not giving me a seat, I will make my own seat. So he took his tail and made a coil, zoom, 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 zoom. And then he sat way above in the top. Ravana had to see like this. So in this way, Hanuman is so confident. Why? Because he got a very capable master. So Arjuna also, when he had to fight the battle in Kurukshetra, he chose Krishna to be on his side. They requested Krishna, Krishna, can you become my Sarathi? You are my dear friend. You guide me and I will fight. So he handed over the ropes of his horses to Krishna. So Krishna was guiding. He told, go there now, let us go. And you can fight with Nivata Kavachas. Now come back here. Now you have to fight with Karna. So Krishna gave all guidance for Arjuna. So therefore, it is said, do your best and let Krishna do the rest. And that's what Arjuna did. So he did his best, and he let Krishna do the rest. Anybody has a pen, you can give the pen here. Prabhu, you can come here. You can stand here. Okay, you can kneel down, no problem. So now I have to do the best. See here. Now he did the rest, correct, no? So because, I am a tiny jiva, but if I endeavor to do bhakti, that endeavor is like jumping up, isn't it? And then Krishna will do the rest. Seeing that, oh, this fellow is so enthusiastic. So imagine if the pen is down on the ground, I won't be able to pick up. But if the pen is jumping up, it comes up to this, then I can pick up. Similarly, Krishna says, you do your little endeavor and rest I will take care. Now we can sit now. Hmm? So, uh, therefore, Arjuna was not sleeping in the chariot. Arjuna told Krishna, you guide me, I will also take initiative, taking my bow and arrow. So in this way, Arjuna had a capable master, Krishna, guiding him, who was the father of all religious principles. So he got expert guidance, first class guidance. Then he emerged victorious also. So in this world, while we are wandering, if you don't have the shelter of God, Krishna, Rama, Vishnu, then we are anath. We are like orphan children. And we are going to be kicked by Maya very badly. Because when you are a street dog, you will see that the street dog has no leash, no what do you call it, license in the neck. It will be mistreated by other dogs or by other people also. So therefore the Shastras say, just as a chaste wife wears a Mangal Sutra, devotees also wear Kantimala. That Kantimala, the Tulasi Kantimala means they don't eat non-veg, they don't eat things that are prohibited, like that. And just as a chaste wife wears a kumkum, devotees also wear tilak. So in this way, a chaste wife will not look at anybody else other than her husband. She considers her husband like God. Similarly, the chaste devotees of Krishna, for them, Lord is their Swami, master. And they won't be attracted to Maya's gifts. Like you've seen a Chataka Pakshi. It's always looking up at the sky. When rains come, it will drink water. It will never drink the muddy pool of water on the ground. Similarly, devotees of the Lord, they are happy and satisfied with whatever Krishna given gifts. Krishna gives me prasad, I will accept. Krishna, whatever he sanctions me, I will accept. But they will never look down to enjoy the dirty things of this world. So you can see in the modern day education does not teach the children on how to become sanat, but the modern day education system makes children anath, orphans, wandering in this world, not knowing who is the right capable hero or the master to take shelter. They are taking shelter of Hollywood and Bollywood actors and actresses who are themselves fallible soldiers. They will all be dead and gone. All these people. But we need an imperishable master, capable master, everlasting master, supreme master, master who has no equal or superior person than him. He is Krishna. So the Shastras say that that supreme master, Krishna or Vasudeva, he comes in this world and he exists in various uh, cities and states and parts of the country. You will see maybe with different names, but the person is same. Like you take Tamil Nadu, for example. He is residing as Ranganath there in Srirangam. And the greatest Acharya, Ramanujacharya, worshipped him as Ranganatha. And Ranganath is Krishna, because Andal is singing about Ranganath and Tirupavai, Adimazhai Kanna, she's calling, oh my dear Krishna, she's calling. She's calling all other gopis to wake up in the morning and perform a vrata for attaining Krishna as the husband. So Ranganath is not different from Krishna. You go to Kerala, there is Guru Ayurappan. He is also Krishna only. Because on Guru Ayurappan, Narayaniyam was written. It's all Srimad Bhagavatam only again. Narayaniyam also, similar book based on Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you go to Andhra, Telangana, if you go, there is famous Tirupati, Balaji. Now who is Balaji? Bala means a child. G means respectable. So who is a respectable child? The child which was born in the jail of Kamsa for Devaki and Vasudev. Who is it? Krishna. So he's Bala, but when the child was born, immediately Devaki offered Namaskar, Devaki and Vasudev. So G, respectable. They treated the child like a Sutam and Devam. His Lord also and child also, both. It's called Balaji. And also, why Balaji came in this world? Because once Mother Yashoda told Krishna that when you were in Vrindavan, you You were only 11-year-old boy, and then you left for Mathura and Dwaraka. All the marriages you did in Dwaraka, I could never see them. My son, I want to see one of you, at least one marriage of yours. Krishna said, never mind. I will go to the Bhuloka as Srinivas, and you become Vakula Devi. Then you can witness my marriage with Padmavati. So then he comes as Srinivas Balaji. That means Balaji is also Krishna only. Vakula Devi is Yashoda. So same Krishna exists there. Now let's go to Karnataka. Karnataka, before you go to Karnataka, I will tell you a little background story. Once in Dwaraka, Krishna was revealing a very beautiful form of small boy Krishna to Rohini. So the boy, when kid Krishna got up in his home one day, Mother Yashoda was churning butter with eyes closed, completely absorbed, singing songs about him. So her bangles were moving like kartals, like that. So she completely was lost in fond remembrance of Krishna and calling Krishna's names. And you all know very well, when you call Krishna, he comes running. So Krishna was sleeping, but when she called the name, he got up and came. And then he looked at the mother and touched her shoulders like this, and she looked like this. Like, yes, my darling, what do you want? She asked. Krishna said, oh, your work is so important, you can't leave the work and attend to me. Now wait and see what I do. So he came in the front and caught hold of the churning rod. And the rod wouldn't move. Then she stopped the work and she laughed and said, oh, my child has become so strong that he's able to hold it, that I can't even rotate it now. Then immediately she picked up the child on her lap. Now, that form Krishna showed, holding the churning rod and having a beaming smile at Yashoda. So he was showing to Rohini. But Rukmini, who was in another room, who was his queen, she suddenly happened to see that beautiful child. She immediately came running and said, where is that child? Krishna immediately changed to Dwarkadish, big form. But she said, no, I want to see that childhood form. So Krishna again showed her the childhood form. She said, it's so delightful form. You have such curly locks of hair, such a glistening bluish body, and such a tender body like a butter. And look at this child. She said, I am falling in love with this child. Let me have this child to worship, she said. Then Krishna turned into a murti. And then she worshipped for many years. Later on, when one Vyapari, one businessman came from there to Udupi, there is one Malpe beach. There he came in the ocean. And then Madhvacharya and the disciples were there. There was a storm. So they helped in stopping the storm. Madhvacharya, the Vayu, he stopped it. Then the man said, whatever you want, I'll give you. So he said, give me the chandan. So when the chandan was brought and kept, a big gola, football size, when it broke open, out came this deity of Udupi Krishna. And 30 Pahlavans, stout men, could not even lift it. But when Madhvacharya came and extended his hand, the deity practically jumped into his hands. And he kept him on his shoulder and sang a beautiful song and brought the deity and established in the Udupi Krishna Mandir. So that means Udupi Krishna holding the churning rod is also Krishna only, worshipped by Madhvacharya. Now I told you, Ramanujacharya worshipped Ranganatha, and Udupi Krishna was worshipped by Madhvacharya, the greatest of the Acharyas. You can see like this. And let's go ahead to Odisha. Let's go. Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. Who are Jagannath and Subhadra? And Jagannath and Baladev are Krishna Balram brothers with big dilated eyes due to excitement of remembering the Vrajabasis, Vrindavan Vasis' love for them. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw the form of Krishna Balram, both eyes are dilated and they are in anxiety to go back to Vrindavan. He fainted unconscious seeing them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu worshipped Krishna in the form of Jagannath. Madhvacharya worshipped Krishna in the form of Udupi Krishna. And Ranganath was worshipped by Ramanujacharya, who is also Krishna. Ultimately, all are Krishna forms. Go to the north Dwara in Udaipur, you will say that is also Krishna only. So why I am telling you this, the forms of Krishna have been worshipped since time immemorial. Millions of years they have been worshipped. Some people think Krishna worship started only in the Dwapara Yuga, which is not true. If you want, you can read Bhagavatam, you will see Ambarish Maharaj in Satya Yuga worshipped Krishna in the temple. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor. Like that it says, Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor. Mukunda lingalaya darshane drishau. It says, Mukunda lingalaya means, Mukunda means Krishna. So he went to a Krishna temple, Ambarish, in Satya Yuga. Similarly, Prithu Maharaj did great penances in Satya Yuga. Arirada Yeshu Krishnam Acharattapa Uttamam. There also the word Krishna is used. He performed severe penances for the pleasure of Krishna. Arirada Yeshu Krishnam Acharattapa Uttamam, it says. Hmm? So it's not that Krishna worship started only in Dwapara Yuga. It has been there because Krishna appears in every day of Brahma. And therefore worship has been going on since time immemorial. And the beauty of the worship of the Lord in the temple is a very holy place. When you go to the temple, immediately the sadbhavana arises. The pure thoughts arise in the mind when you go to the temple. Immediately one thinks, may the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous become tranquil. May the tranquil become free. May those who are free set others free. Sarve sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhavet. That's a verse which says, Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. One always thinks when they come to the temple of the Lord, let all living beings live happily. So I have seen with my own eyes in our temple, in the morning when I am rolling the chatai, where we sit for japa, one chatai I roll and another dozen chatais are rolled by other dozen people. Everybody sees and they want to do seva when they come to temple. And they don't take any charges for service. People want to offer free seva for Lord Krishna. Similarly, you will find the Vedic life always teaches that when you go to the temples, there is always prasadam for everybody who visits the temple. Like I went to the famous Jaipur Radha Govind Mandir. So when I went in the early morning, 4 or 4:30 in the morning, there were 3,000 people there, and all circumambulating. It's a pradakshina they were doing. So I was also doing pradakshina. Then during pradakshina, they were giving out so much prasadam. Somebody was giving, rock candy. Somebody was giving a laddu. Somebody was giving Mysore pak. Somebody was giving tilgul. So different people were giving different items. So whoever was giving, we just picked up and kept on eating. By the time we finished 3 rounds, our breakfast was over. We're completely satisfied. So temple is a place, in our temple also here, morning 8 to 1 o'clock, there is a food for life, prasad is distributed. Again, evening 4 to night 9 o'clock, prasad is distributed. A beggar can come morning, afternoon, evening, all the 3 times he can eat and go if he wants. Not only beggars eat, even big millionaires come and eat here because it's prasadam. Prasadam means that which is offered to Lord and is sanctified, purified. It's called as karma-free, sanctified, lacto-vegetarian diet, like that we call it. It's called prasadam, which is free from karma. So because ordinary food leads to karma bandhan, bondage. Prasad makes makes us free from bondage. So why I'm telling you this, I will tell you. Many people make a big issue about why don't we feed the poor? Why don't we give them food? Why don't we give them clothing? Why you people are just chanting God's name? What do you gain out of this simply by chanting? The reason is very simple. See Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he says. I'll show you. Okay, we'll come to that Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I'll very soon come to that point. Let us see 3-4 slides and then we will come to that. You see, Bharat actually wanted to awaken that love for God, love for Krishna by going to forest. But he got sidelined from that goal. He got diverted from that goal. Because he brought a deer and he started showing affection to the deer. And he walked, bathed and ate. He went to forest carrying the deer on his shoulder. And in this way, one of the days, the deer was missing. So he became very anxious. He started crying, "Oh, dear, where are you? I'm afraid a pack of wolves must not have taken you. Or maybe a tiger must have torn you to pieces. Oh, what a careless person I am. I have not given you enough attention." He started weeping, crying. So he became very psychologically weak because of that. Then he was searching for the footprints of the deer. Where are the? And then he asked the Bhumi, "Oh, Bhumi, how fortunate you are that you got the footprint of my dear deer." See, Actually, a devotee of the Lord is amazed by seeing Krishna's footprints. Like you see, Kunti Maharani is telling. She's saying, Neyam so vishyate tatra yatedanim gadadhara swapadai rankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitai. She's telling, oh, my dear Lord Krishna, now that you're leaving us in Hastinapur and going to Dwaraka, our Hastinapur will not have your lotus footprints anymore because you're going away. And then she's saying, look at your footprints on the bhumi. They are glowing like lightning. And the footprints have 16 chinhas, like the lotus, like a flag, like an elephant goad, like a thunderbolt, like an umbrella. Each of them have a meaning. Fish. There are 16 symbols like that. And each symbol is emanating an auspicious result for the devotees. Lotus means devotees remain like lotus, untouched by the muddy pool of the material world. Similarly, umbrella means Indra has umbrella above his head. Similarly, devotees are made very famous by Krishna. Lokanam Kirti Vardhanam. Thunderbolt represents Krishna destroys all the sinful reactions of the devotees, like a thunderbolt breaking a mountain. So, in this way, she says, your lotus feet footprints are glowing. And she is worshipping, seeing Krishna's footprints. Similarly, here Bharat has become so attached to deer that he is telling the deer, oh, the lotus footprints of the deer are on the ground. And the Bhumi has become very fortunate, he is telling. He has become practically pagal, practically crazy at this time. Kalidas is a very famous writer, a poet. Parampuja Radha Govind Maharaj was telling this. He said Kalidas in one poem wrote how a man who had become very illusioned by attraction to his wife. So his wife gave a kick on his head. So he told his wife, "Oh, my dear wife, my sharp hair on my head should not prick your lotus palm, which are just like a lotus or a rose. I hope it's not paining for you," he was telling. So Maharaj was telling, this fellow is getting kicks on his head and he's speaking like this out of moha, out of illusion, he was telling. In the same manner, this Bharat also had become illusioned like that. Moha and Sneha. So he had become attached to the deer. So he's speaking like in such a language. And then one stone hit his leg and he fell on the ground. At that time, the deer came in front of him. So he was about to die. Then deer was very close to him. He looked at the face of the deer. Oh, deer, you have come back. And it left the body. So at that time, his mind was completely absorbed in the deer. So, because he was contemplating on the deer's form in the mind and searching for it, and then after that he saw the deer. So next life he became a deer. So it's called he fell down and became a deer. Similarly, here you see a boy is attached to a pussy cat. So there are people attached to cats and dogs. They raise the dogs and raise the cats at home, and gradually they become very attached. I saw one man walking with a dog with a leash. Amazingly, I found a similarity between the dog's face and his face. I wanted to click a photograph. So the dog looks like this, and he also looks similar, exactly like this, taking the dog. I think because he's associating with the dog very closely, daily, every day. So he's preparing to, become like that. So because our mind becomes preoccupied with things that we associate with, therefore, you will see that people who involved in black magic and these things like that, their face also will look very different. You've seen that? They look like ghosts only. If you see them only, the people who involved in those things. On the other hand, people who are involved in worship of Sri Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, the more we worship, then because their worship is very sattvic in nature, and we offer, vegetables, fruits, milk, cereals. Then their face will become very much sattvic. You can see that. So you become what you associate with. So if you associate with, pussycats and puppy dogs and such kinds of things, then we are preparing our consciousness like them, like he became a deer. Of course, there was one Shivananda Sen. who actually saw that a dog was walking with the Harinam party. So then he gave prasad to the dog. So he treated the dog like his god brother. Treated the dog like a devotee of Krishna. Finally, by his giving the dog prasad and everything, eventually the dog went back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada says that we should be able to elevate somebody to that platform of going back to Godhead rather than we degrade ourselves. So this we spoke yesterday, the day before also, and how his intense attraction for the deer caused a distraction during his japa or yajna. So distraction means alternative attraction. Instead of Krishna, we have alternative attraction. So he was just making a mere show of worship. He was not able to do attentively. Like here it says here. So Prabhupada says here that if one's mind is distracted from worship, a mere show of worship will not be of any benefit. Bharat Maharaj had to get up at intervals to look for the deer. That was simply a sign that he had fallen down from the spiritual platform. Similarly, we are chanting Hare Krishna jap. In between, I have to get up after every half round, attend to some phone call. Beep! Like that, the sound comes. Immediately, you think, let me find out what message has come. I have to reply now. That means we are becoming slave of the smartphone. Actually, technology is wonderful as long as technology is your servant. Then it is wonderful. You become servant of technology, you are gone. Then the same dear business only. We become a slave of technology. Then our chanting is ruined, attention is ruined. So it is better that we switch off the smartphone for a couple of hours and just take the bead bag and get into chanting fully. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The world will not come to a stop. Don't worry. We are not running the whole world. World will go on. If you switch off your phone and keep it in your cupboard or somewhere, and then you sit and chant, then you can again switch on the phone after you complete your rounds. In case something is very vital, maybe your wife's phone is there and son or daughter's phone may be there. Somebody may call you. If they don't get you, they will call someone else. We don't have to take too much tension in running this world. Therefore, we have to sit in a sacred space like the puja room and just get into chanting with no distraction. So he got a loss of concentration in worship, as you see here. These are all signs of fall down. He was taking intervals going here with the deer. Like you see here, when he lost the deer, he felt as if a miser got 5 crore rupees and he lost that money. Again, like that, he was thinking, Bharat. But the Shastras say, actually, you should transfer this attachment from material things to Lord's service. Otherwise, we will fall down. One time, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj was telling, he was in an ocean beach with a group of some 100, 200 devotees doing Harinam Sankirtan. So they all did for an hour Harinam Sankirtan, chanting, dancing, everything. Then all the devotees sat down. They drank some juice and they were all spread out in the seashore. So Maharaj was standing and he said, one young Western girl came running. She came up to Maharaj and there were tears coming in her eyes. She asked, did you see my dog? Did you see my dog? She was asking. And then Maharaj said, what? She said, dog? He said, oh, I didn't see. Then because it seems she brought her dog to the beach and the dog had run away somewhere. She was searching. And then she went away. Maharaj said, I was amazed when she had such a hankering to search out her dog. Maharaj said, I felt this is the way I have to search Krishna. I have missed Krishna long before. Millions of lives I have been wandering in this world. And now how much hankering she has. She is desperate to find out the dog at any cost, anyhow. There. And Maharaj was telling, when I saw that lady, I immediately felt this is the way Gopi must have cried. When Krishna slipped out of the rasa dance. All the gopis cried and sang the Gopi Gita. Jayati te dikam janmana vraja Jayata Indira Shashwatahi. So this goes on. It's a long song, but I was telling you how the gopis of Vrindavan, they were asking the plants, they were asking the deers, "Did you see our Krishna? Krishna has, escaped from the dance." So Maharaj said, actually, we are all jivas. We should feel Govinda Viraha. Shunaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. Instead of having Govinda Viraha, if you give up that Govinda Viraha, which is upward Viraha, then we get Viraha for the other lower things. Somebody has Viraha for a dog, somebody has Viraha for a cat, somebody has Viraha for a man or a woman. They have Viraha for different things in this world. One feels. Therefore, Rupa Goswami is praying in one prayer, Yuvatinam yata yoni, yunav yuvatav yata. There is one verse. He says that, oh my dear Krishna, just as a young boy is attracted to a young girl, let my mind be attracted to you. Like that he is telling. So one time, one of our devotee boys was telling me, his friend asked him that, hey, why are you people so much mad after Krishna, Krishna, Krishna all the time? Huh? You're chanting his name, you're going to his temple, you're reading his book. You guys are too much. All the time you're talking about him. People don't get tired or what? Doing all these things. So then his devotee friend, this devotee asked his karmi friend, he asked him, you see, when you came in your first year, you fell in love with that particular girl, isn't it? And after that, what happened to you? He asked him. Then he said, what happened to me? He said, were you not too eager to know her name? How much hard work you did to find out her name and find out her caste, find out her place of living, and how much hard you worked to connect with her. For you wanted some excuse to go and talk to her. You wanted some excuse to continue your relationship with her. And this boy thought and said, yeah. I completely became mad. Now she ditched me and ran with another boy. But he said, but I agree. I got to fail in 6 papers because of her. So the boy said, then he told him, see, you are mad after a woman and we are mad after Krishna, isn't it? So ultimately everyone has to be mad after somebody. Krishna's name is one His Holiness B.T. Swami, Bhakti Swami came to Bombay temple, he said, the goal of life is to become mad, he said. And all of us were shocked. Really? Is it the goal of life to become mad? And then he said, yes, we have to become mad for Madan Mohan, he said. You know who is Madan Mohan? Madan Mohan. Yeah, the Sanskrit word mother means mad only. So Madan is one who produces mad attraction in our hearts. So he said, Madan Mohan, he said. And then he said, if you don't become attracted to Madan Mohan, then you become attracted to a woman, he was telling. Isn't it? So you will see devotees who are sincerely practicing come to a stage where they madly become attracted to Krishna. Krishna becomes the center of their life. Everything revolves around Krishna for them. Correct? No? And if you don't adopt that route, then you will see that we have multiple attractions in this world. Somebody is orbiting around a woman, somebody is orbiting around a pussycat or a dog or dollar notes. Everybody has to orbit around something in this world. So as you see here, one day Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Jagannath Puri temple and it was very heavily crowded. One old Orisan lady climbed on his shoulder and she was with her eyes lit up. She was taking darshan of Jagannath with great joy. At that time, Govinda standing in the side shouted at the lady, hey, old lady, get down. So Mahaprabhu said, hey, Govinda, don't chastise her. How fortunate she is. See, she is looking at Jagannath with such eagerness. He said, I wish I can have such eagerness to see Lord Krishna. Like that he said. So, and although she was keeping one leg on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shoulder, another leg on Garuda Stamba, Garuda is devotee and Lord Chaitanya is Lord. She's offending Lord and devotee simultaneously. Still, Lord didn't take offense because her heart was filled with love for Krishna. With great eagerness, she was taking darshan. So, in this way, if that eagerness in our heart is awakened, then we will never be fascinated by the multiple material attachments in this world. Actually, many times people get preoccupied in this world, feeding poor. Like for example, if you are giving, say, only food that is not offered to people, you are giving food. Maybe next life you will be a very great landlord with a lot of hundreds of sacks of rice stored in your godown because you have given food to the people in the previous life. If you give uniform to school children, next life you will be in a textile mill owner with abundant clothes. If you are giving some school notebooks to children, you will become a printing press owner. Or if you are giving water in the summer season to all the people, one glass, you are doing that social service. Next life, you will be born in the side of some river, abundant water. Uh, some people's houses are very close to river. Or you will have a big syntax tank, 24-hour water supply. Isn't it? So if you do material punya, you will get something material in return. So therefore, material punya is compensated by material benefits subsequently. But if you chant Hare Krishna, you study Gita Bhagavatam, you go to the temple of the Lord, take Saranamrit, smell the fragrance of the flower, eat prasadam, associate with devotees, chant, dance, perform Navavidha Bhakti. All these things are called Bhakti Sukruti. So these things awaken such eagerness, like this old Ursan lady had that eagerness for Krishna. Govinda Viraha will be awakened by such practices. So that instead of having such a strong affection, affinity for Krishna, Bharat Maharaj actually, when he came to forest, such eagerness was there. There's one shloka which says, Yo dustyajandarasutan suhridrajyam hridisprashaha jahau yuvaiva malavad uttama shloka. It says, Yo dustyajan. Very difficult to give up things like what? Dara means wife, Sutan, children, Suhrid means the well-wishers, Rajyam, kingdom, along with the khajana, treasury, and elephants, horses, and soldiers, everything. Hridis pressure, all are heart-touching things. But how did he give them up? He gave them up just like a man who passes stool in the lavatory and comes out. Like that, he gave it all up. I don't care for them. I'll go to forest and attain Lord Krishna. Why? Jahav yuva malavat uttama shloka lalasaha, it says. He had a great greed to attain Lord Krishna in the forest. So his beginning point was very good, very correct. Therefore, all of us devotees, we should take this warning in our lives. We should be very cautious of Maya. We may come with great enthusiasm to Krishna consciousness and start chanting. But if you are careless, like while you are driving the car, you little bit doze. Immediately the car goes and hits something, a tree, and big accident. You know, it's like a momentary neglect, big price you have to pay. Therefore, you should sleep 6 hours at night before you drive a car. So just as car driving has to be done attentively, in spiritual life also we have to be very alert and attentive. See the Bharata's mistakes. First, he showed compassion to the deer, not a problem. But he became forgetful of his spiritual duties. That's where the problem started. Now, all of you, you are all in a role where, say, you are a man or a woman, you have to take care of your spouse, you have to take care of your mother, father, you have to take care of your children, you have to do your office work also, and you have to take care of your spiritual life. So while caring for the family members and for the office work, one should make a balance in such a way that one's spiritual life does not go to the background. It doesn't take a back seat. Like sometimes a person he doesn't have a job, he's searching for a job. Then he's chanting 16 rounds very nicely. The moment he gets a job, he's working 14 hours a day. Then he doesn't know where the bead bag went. He throws away the bead bag and gets into doing job, and then spiritual life goes for a toss. You see? So therefore, we should not become forgetful. That's very important. One gentleman was telling me when he was going in a train from Pune to Mumbai, he stopped at Lonavala, the train stopped. So he went to purchase some chikki. But the chikki shop showed him 3-4 varieties. There's a kaju chikki, there is a shankdana chikki, groundnut chikki. They were showing 3-4 varieties. He was thinking which one, oh, this is more costly, less costly. And he bought one packet and turned around and saw no train. Train had gone away. Similarly, in our spiritual life, sometimes we think that let me set right my material life and then let me come back to Krishna consciousness. By the time the opportunity for bhakti is gone because we become too preoccupied. Now, how do you become preoccupied? If you see, sometimes in the name of building up our financial reserve for the future. We think that my wife, children, everybody should be happy. Let me make more money now when I am young. Then spiritual life goes for a toss. Or sometimes a person thinks that I can come from a very poor background, but my children should not suffer. So some parents say, "Beta, I have got 50 dresses for you. I have got 100 chapels for you. I will give you a separate big room for yourself. Instead of living in a 2 BHK, we will build a bungalow, so that my sons, daughters can live comfortable life." So in the name of showering affection to children, one becomes preoccupied in material life and forgets the spiritual connection to Lord. One forgets an important goal. I heard a story. Once a man who went to the forest for hunting, suddenly from a hilltop, he slipped and he toppled down a valley. And he fainted unconscious. Fell because he fell in the middle of two valleys. In a valley, he fell. So somebody sprinkled water. He opened his eyes and he saw all tribal men. All kinds of hairstyles they had, all the spears in the hand, different kinds of things. He got frightened, and they were all chanting some mantra. So he was shocked. He thought they are going to catch me and kill me. But then they spoke in English to him. Some of them knew English. They told him, "Dear man, you are most welcome." They took a garland and put it on his neck and said, "From today onward, you are going to be the king of our community." He said, "King? I am an ordinary man." He said, "No, you are a king." They took him to the palace, huge palace, and made him sit on an elevated asana. He sat, and they told him, "See, um, you will be given nice food, beverages, costly clothes to wear, ornaments to wear, and you have to rule over us." And the king was very curious. "You are saying I am king from now. Who was your previous king?" They said, "That we will show you. Come with us." They took him to upstairs. And then it was an island. They showed him across like Andaman Nicobar. There was that side island they showed, and they said, "The previous king was thrown out yesterday only because the tenure is only 1 year. After every year, we will throw the fellow in that Andaman Nicobar Islands." Oh, ho. What does he do there? He is gone. Lifelong, he has to live there only. Like that they said. And then he understood, oh, so my tenure is also 1 year. They said, yes. What this fellow did in that 1 year, every day he would send boatloads of bricks, reinforced bars, gold, silver, everything he was sending. Because right now he is king, he is in power, he sent everything there. So the first year ended, they put him in a boat and said, now we are going to drop you in that Andaman Nicobar Islands. So when they took him, he had no fear. You know why? Because by the time he had sent men, everybody, big palace was built there. All comforts, luxuries, everything was there for him. So this story has a very deep significance. The valley in which he fell represents the material world where we all have fallen. And we became unconscious. And when somebody sprinkled water and woke us up, those tribal people are the people of this world. Sometimes they make you a very big fellow, very big king. Somebody says, you are the CEO of the company, you are the president of this company, you are this, you are that. They lift you up and you also think, oh, wonderful, wonderful. And everything revolves around us only for a term. Like his term was 1 year. Our term may be 70, 80 years. Correct, no? Till then we can be Raja. When we die, we go with empty hands. Like Alexander said, when I die, put my body in the coffin, but to put my hands out so that let people see I am not carrying anything with me. And take that gold and silver I collected right next to me and take it to graveyard and take it back. Let people know that it doesn't go with a person. He said, and also take the doctors who were treating my body up to the graveyard. Let people know that doctors couldn't treat me and save me. So they are also coming and going back. These are things Alexander said. So this we all should remember. From dust thou art born, and to dust thou shalt return. This body is born from dust and it goes back to dust. Only the Atma survives. The naked soul comes out. The only thing he can carry with him is what he has done for Krishna. Therefore, if one becomes forgetful of Krishna, then one has nothing to carry. So then life after life, we are just accumulating and leaving and accumulating and leaving. So unfortunately, Bharat became forgetful due to the attachment to the deer. Similarly, we also can have different attachments in this world. We have to very attentively, carefully watch our attachments, whether the attachments are stealing our time and energy and money and not letting us focus on the Lord. So therefore I was telling, if a man is a grihastha, if he can sleep early by 10, then morning he can get up at 5. Then he can keep the morning time 5 to 7 for spiritual activities, because children are also asleep. He may get up a little late and wife will be busy in the kitchen. So man can spend 5 to 7 in spiritual activities. Then 7 to 9 he can give some time for the children and family. And then he goes to office. So morning 9 to evening 7, he's in the office, maybe 9, 10 hours. In the evening when he comes back, he can give a little time for the family and make it a practice to retire to bed early, so that he can have time for chanting in the morning. So intelligent devotee means he makes time for spiritual life early morning. In fact, Srila Prabhupada was the most intelligent. He would sleep at 9, 9:30, get up at 1 o'clock. So 1 to 5, Prabhupada was writing the Bhagavatam purports. He knew very well, at that time nobody can disturb me. All guys are asleep. So, and then he would spend time with the devotees, and about 11:30, 12, he will take a oil massage bath, and then he will take his prasad, and afternoon he would take some rest, 1 hour, sometimes 1 hour, so to catch up with the rest, what he couldn't get at night. So he was very intelligent. He utilized the early morning golden hours, we call it. So then early morning, if you are chanting, if you are reading Shastra, then it deeply gets imprinted in our mind. We'll never forget the Lord. See, he neglected his spiritual duties. He developed too much affection for the deer, attraction for the deer. He became distracted from spiritual life, got agitation, anxiety, lamentation. In this way, multiple mistakes he committed. Oh, shall I see it again? Let it be protected by the Lord. Some ferocious animals must have eaten all that. He called the deer as Rajakumar, Manikumar. Manikumar means he has very good Sanskriti, and Rajakumar means he has beauty. In this way, he was telling that, oh, my dear deer, when you would be sitting and chanting the holy name, the deer would come, and with his small horns, he would do like this. And then he would look at the deer, show anger to the deer. Then the deer would have become afraid. I think master is angry with me. So he would sit at a little distance away. Then he would be laughing at the deer. He like that, he would be laughing. So that means he was chanting. Mala was in the hand, but he was actually kind of exchanging affection and angry affection with the deer. This angry affection is very dangerous. Sometimes you find it happens between boy and girl also sometimes. The girl appears to be angry, but actually she's happy also. Then that increases the mamata even more, attachments even more deeply. So in this way, see this picture, he is lying down at the time of death, and see the top. In the top, what do you find? The form of, in his subconscious mind, the form of deer is seen. So because of that remembrance, the mental existence transforms into a tangible form as soon as there is an opportunity. So therefore, when he fell down to the deer's form, he got. So one very nice quote Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in the name of social service, don't give up Krishna consciousness, he's telling. Those who think that devotion to God and kindness to the souls are mutually different from each other and perform accordingly in their life, such persons will not be able to follow the devotional culture. Their performances are only a semblance of devotion, he says, which means there are people and they think you guys are worshipping God, we guys are doing social service. Like that people say. They can never become devotees because they think they are doing a very great service to the poor and all that, or to the needy and other people. They don't know that the material needs in this world to follow the spiritual life like a shadow. Like when you walk, the shadow follows you. Similarly, you will say, I told you, I went to Jaipur temple. As soon as I went there, immediately the morning, so much prasadam was given profusely. So where there is God, there is no dearth of anything. You will see that. In fact, all over India, if Vedic culture is followed, Vedic culture is a giving culture. The Vedic culture teaches on your birthday what you should do. Krishna Balram used to give cows in charity to Brahmanas. They were not grabbing any gifts. But nowadays you find many people, when they put up a party for birthday, they are looking for gifts. Who is bringing what gift for me? They've just reversed it now. Actually, the person celebrating birthday should give gifts, like Krishna Balram are giving. So Vedic culture is a giving culture. Modern culture is grabbing culture. Similarly, when I was a small boy, my mother used to say, every day after cooking the first plate of prasad, she would tell me to go up in the terrace and put it for the crows. After offering to Vishnu or Krishna, that prasad should be given to the other poor creatures. So I would put it. And then she would ask me, did the crow come and eat? I would say no. Then she would say, then you can't eat. First the crow has to eat. Only then you are allowed. Then I used to again climb up the terrace and look for a crow. Sometimes the crow is sitting a little far away. I would call him, hey, please come here. Otherwise I can't eat today. So you will see that this is Vedic life. Imagine if 120 crore population of India, everybody gives one plate of food to somebody. How many people can eat? Another 120 crore can eat. Then where is the dearth, tell me? Because Vedic life teaches us to give. So it's not that you have to have a separate program for feeding the poor. Where is the poor? There is no poor. India had no poverty because everybody had that giving culture. But modern day culture is grabbing culture because of materialism and modernization, atheism, deviation from the Vedic culture. Therefore, man has got a grabbing culture, and then he's blaming God for that. He's saying somebody is God conscious. He will say, "You are all God conscious. Why don't you do, service to poor?" Actually, there is no dearth of anything when one takes to bhakti. Everything, all there is. So he says here, you see below. He's saying, among these, according to the triple categories of the recipients, namely high, medium, and low, the actions of respect, friendliness, kindness are the very form of love and the characteristic portion of bhakti. Charity of medicines, clothes, food, water, etc., shelter during adversities, teaching of academic and spiritual educations, etc., are the activities included in the devotional culture. See, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this in Tattva Viveka. So these are all part of the social system in the Vedic life. It is not that, but if you are only doing, food, clothing, shelter without God, you are cheating the masses because you are keeping them anath. And when anath, what will happen? For example, you give them food today, they are going to come back to you tomorrow and ask, sir, food. Give them for 1 week, next week they will come and ask you for food. Give them for 1 year, next year they will come. Give them for their whole life, they will die, take one more birth and say, sir, I am reborn again, please give me food. Again they are going to come, isn't it? Similarly, you start a hospital, you start orthopedic hospital. Somebody broke their leg, you repair their leg. They broke their hand, they'll break. Is it not true? Tomorrow they may have brain tumor, or they may have cancer, or they may have a heart attack. So your body cannot be repaired completely. Even though you may be starting hospitals to repair the body, this body is a perishable body. It's a falling apart phenomenon. As you get older and older, there will be multiple organ failure. Everything will start failing. Lungs are failing, liver is failing, kidney is failing, brain is failing, everything is failing, body is collapsing. So what is the use of our trying to repair the perishing body and saying that we are doing a great service? The great service can only be done for the soul. So therefore Prabhupada said, save not the coat, save the drowning man, Prabhupada said. Like a zamindar was wearing a golden color coat and he was drowning and he was shouting, save me, save me. So people found one very strong boy and said, hey, zamindar is drowning, they said. Immediately the boy is swam, but he was a poor boy. When he saw the golden coat, he thought that the coat is the most important thing. So he removed the coat and brought it and showed people, I have saved the coat. But they asked, Hare, zamindar has drowned and died. And you are bringing the coat foolishly. Because if the zamindar came out, he will give you 100 coats like this. So similarly, people are saving the material bodies by giving food, clothing, shelter, but they are not saving the drowning souls. So Prabhupada started ISKCON Society to save the drowning souls. If the soul is saved, he'll never come back to the material world. He will go back home, back to Godhead. So therefore, similarly, Bharat Maharaj is now protecting the deer's body without actually trying to, either he should elevate the deer to chant Hare Krishna and go back, and it is not very easy. Prabhupada says here, one place. See, he's saying here, try to elevate people from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. And Bharat is saying, not worth sacrificing one sadhana to do the impossible task of elevating an animal to spiritual consciousness. It's not easy. He wasted his human life. So, in this way, many times we all become sympathetic to somebody and we get into helping them and we get sidetracked from spiritual life. He's saying, as far as the mental body is concerned, we cannot do anything for anyone, he says. However, by the grace of Krishna, we may raise a person into spiritual consciousness if we ourselves follow the rules and regulations. So, first we have to be exemplary in our spiritual practices. Then we can inspire. For example, I want to save a drowning man. What I will do? First, I will tie a rope to the tree. And then with that rope, I will throw it to the drowning man. And when he catches, then I will pull. So the tree is Krishna. First, hold on to Krishna's lotus feet. Then you can save others. If we don't do that, we try to save others. If I give him a hand, hey, please come, I'll save you. Then I will also get drowned. He will drag me into the water. That's what he's saying. See, Prabhupada is saying, it is impossible to improve people's unchangeable material conditions that are already established by superior administration according to one's karma. Sometimes you see people suffering, you feel great sympathy. Oh, I want to help them. Even relatives sometimes run short of money. Like one of the relatives got a cancer. They go for chemotherapy. And lakhs of rupees they spend. They run out of money. They beg, borrow money from different relatives. After spending 10, 20 lakhs, they get tired. Now we don't have money now. So they run out of money. They put oxygen and everything. Finally, the relative has to die one day. So in this world, even if you have a desire to help, you cannot help in this world. That's what he is saying here. Because there are karmic reactions which come in people's lives and they have to go through it. This doesn't mean you should not help. But in the course of helping somebody, then you should not lose your own spiritual life. Like one boy who was actually a section order, very nicely was practicing. He lived in some place like a paying guest. He was living. And that lady of the house, her husband used to beat her. So this lady used to come to this boy and cry. This boy is just 24, 25 years. And the lady is 34, 35. And the lady used to come and cry, my husband is beating me, please, he doesn't understand what to do. And this boy, what can he counsel a woman? He would tell her, don't worry, I will find out ways to make your husband, set right your husband. And in this way, he started getting close to this lady, trying to help her. He took her to advocate, lawyers, to fight some court case and everything, And in this way, over a period of time, she got close to this boy. This boy spent 8 lakh rupees for her, for different things. Because she said, my husband is not giving me any money, so he was giving. Later on, this boy understood that, I am not qualified to help this lady. I have foolishly wasted my time, wasted my money, wasted my energy. And he was getting into a wrong type of connection with her, who is a married lady. It would become very foolish, you see. Therefore, in this world, before you can help anybody, you have to ask yourself, am I the right person to help this person? Or somebody else should be helping this person. Or even if I have to help, I should have a spiritual perspective of life. And also many of you will say, for example, there are so many people suffering from so many needs. Some are needing financial needs. They want money on loan. Some people are so liberal that they will give a lot of their money to them and the money will never come back. Is it not true? So here there is a warning here that in the name of helping the other souls, you don't forget your way back to Godhead. You need to know the balance between the two. See, Prabhupada says the only benefit you can do for anyone is to raise them in spiritual consciousness, because material world is a place of suffering. You cannot help them to completely stop the suffering. Eventually they will, if you send them back to Godhead, they are saved. Remember that everything is for Krishna. Okay, now I will answer your questions. There are plenty of questions waiting. This is tomorrow's session. Past life impressions. Can they weaken my present life? So, this is a very important question. How can a devotee be affected by his past misconduct or the past vicious activities that one has done? Tomorrow we will answer this. Now we'll go to the questions. Correct, this is the one? Yeah. Here Naveen Vyaspu is asking, how to serve Vaishnavas properly in any kind of circumstance. I told in the lecture also, actually serving Vaishnavas means welcoming them with a smiling face, giving them a place to sit, giving them some water to drink, and talking to them in a friendly manner with a genuine respect. And also associating with them by sharing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna with them, giving them prasad, accepting prasad, offering them gifts, accepting gifts from them, and revealing our mind in confidence and taking guidance or offering guidance depending on your position. Maruti Suzuki Prabhu is asking, how to be away from TV? Sell the TV away. Sell off the TV, TV is gone. Yeah. Because we don't have anyway time also much nowadays. Piyush Karmaka Prabhu is asking, I know that we should be serious in our devotion, but I can't, what I should do. I can't be serious. What I should do to be serious. I told you that there are three things. Strict, serious and sincere. In that serious means what? Even in the face of temptations and calamities and distractions. A devotee does not buckle. Buckle means does not bend. For example, if there are something is tempting you to go to a wrong path, keep away from temptations. Something is distracting you. Like for example, in the early morning you get up, immediately open your computer, you are replying mails. Instead, don't open the computer, open a book and read. Cultivate a new habit. Keep away from temptations, distractions, and calamities. You are feeling very down, then go to a very enthusiastic devotee and take inspiration from them. And then you will become serious by associating with very serious devotees. And Gadige Akshay Prabhu is asking, what is the difference between listening and hearing and chanting? Yeah, both are same. You have to chant audibly, pronounce clearly, and hear attentively. Two words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yes. And Akash Dubey Prabhu is asking, what should be our real mood? To think to go back to Godhead or to birth after birth serve Krishna? Actually, both are said in our scriptures. It's not wrong for you to want to go back to Godhead because you want to be a sanat. You want to go back to your eternal Father, Krishna. Nothing wrong in that. But in case, great acharyas sometimes desire to come again and again to deliver the suffering souls so that those souls can go back to Godhead. Both are right. Renuka Shukla is asking, probably in this world now, we will not get time of 100 years to get prepared as you explained. So how should we make this division? Okay, let us assume we live up to 80. You can make it 20, 20, 20, 20. Correct, no? Instead of 25, 25. Yeah. So Popat Bangar was asking, if a spiritual world is free from envy, ego, then how we became envious in the spiritual world? Actually, in the spiritual world, Prabhupada explains that the Jiva tells Krishna that I also want to create something for you, Krishna. Krishna says everything is created here ready. You don't have to create anything new. But he very strongly Jiva says. Krishna says, okay, chalo, go to material world and become Brahma. Then he becomes Brahma and he creates secondary creation. Then he thinks, I have created. That ahankar comes. Then he becomes a human being. Then from human he becomes animals, birds and everything like that. This is one of the ways he comes. Another way in the spiritual world, the Jiva has the free will, either to choose to love and serve Krishna or to become independent. So sometimes the Jiva can, because the free will is there, he can, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the Jiva jumps out of the world first. He doesn't know about Maya. He just like a child sometimes you have seen who is kept at home. When the mother becomes a little busy in the kitchen, he runs out to play, out to the house. And I had a very good time, no one is around, I will go. But actually, he invites danger by going out alone. So in this way we come and then we get caught by Maya after that. So Piyush Karmakar is saying, I go asleep while chanting. How can I go? This is drowsiness. So you can stand up, walk and chant. But don't walk too long, short distance, walk and chant. When once the sleep is gone, you sit and chant. Rajini Kadlemat is asking, people humiliate when we talk about Krishna, how to accept it? So keep a distance from those atheistic people who humiliate, because if you argue with them, you'll become angry. Or if you are soft-natured, then they will make you cry. So atheistic people, we should keep a long distance. We should not associate with them. After you become very strong in Krishna consciousness, if you can defeat them, then you can go and answer their questions. Mahalakshmi Rohidas is asking, Prabhuji, you said do one thing at a time, but I have a habit of hearing Prabhupada lectures while cooking. Is that good? Or I should just focus on cooking and hear focusedly later? Actually, while cooking, you can hear kirtans or lecture also. Make sure that you put the right amount of salt. the right amount of chunk and everything. Sometimes, as I told you that day, we are forgetful. Like one fellow was attending to a phone call while going into the bathroom. He was talking in the phone, and then put on the shower. Then he realized phone is in the hands and he kept the phone away. Now, after taking shower, he was wondering, did I brush my teeth or not? So, because he was doubtful, again he brushed his teeth after that. So sometimes what happens, when you do two things, you forget something. So if you can hear Prabhupada's lecture attentively, very nicely, along with cooking, it's wonderful. If you can do both effectively, make sure prasadam is also tasty. So family members will be happy also. And in case your hearing lecture is a little difficult for you while cooking, you can hear kirtans. Kirtans is a very good background. Like Yashoda would do work, churning butter, and she would be singing with eyes closed, so she could do both very nicely. Bhavin Sonat was asking, what is the meaning of studying Srila Prabhupada was scrutinizingly? Scrutinizingly means not upar, not superficially, but deeply. So how do you study deeply? If you read a purport, notes the important points, the main point, the secondary points. And then Prabhupada got some examples. Note the examples, positive examples, negative examples. And then think about what you read just now. And think about how it applies to my personal life. Think how it applies to your friends and the world around you. So that's called the theological application and personal application, preaching application. You have to think about when you study Prabhupada books like that. How it can help me to become a better individual. Think about it. Then you are reading nicely. And Uday Soundkar Prabhu is asking, you mentioned that in spiritual world there is no work but recreation. However, some of us like sense of achievement feeling. So how can we get this? What about Hanuman? Is he not having sense of achievement? He is going and finding Sita. He is waging war against Ravana and fighting. Arjuna, is he not having a sense of achievement in his spiritual life? So depending on your nature, Lord will give you opportunities to serve. God Yaksha Prabhu is asking, sometimes the thought of anger or lust while hearing, reading or chanting comes. What to do? See, these are all our old history of our mindset. Don't worry. Keep reading, hearing, chanting. Gradually, these anarthas will the nashtaprayeshu, abhadreshu, nityam, bhagavata sevya. Go on studying Bhagavatam. The abhadras, impurities will go away. And here is another question by PM Value Source. Even after practicing Krishna by birth, qualities like anger and attitude is not changing that easily. After chanting also, how to consider? Then chanting has been made more effective. Chant early in the morning. Sleep early, rise early, and chant early in the morning. And also consult some devotee on how you can modify your current spiritual life to make it better. You have to be improving in knowledge and in your practical application, both. And Shivan's Thakur was asking, when pride comes, how should we deal with it? Actually, we are proud because we are ignorant. We don't know how great many people are. So therefore, we have to open our eyes to know in whatever thing you are. One devotee gave a class, and then he said to one senior devotee, Prabhu, I'm feeling very proud that I gave a great class. The senior devotee told him, do you know Shukadeva Goswami? When he gave class, his guru and Param Guru were also sitting in the class. Narada was sitting, Vedavyas was sitting when Shukadeva was speaking. Not only that, 18,000 verses Shukadeva spoke by heart. How many verses you know? He asked him. That devotee got shocked. Prabhuji, I know some 20, 30 verses. Said he knew 18,000 verses. So when the devotee heard all this, he understood now there is no reason for me to be proud. So many times we have no knowledge, so we are proud. So, and also we should serve advanced devotees who are very humble, Maharajas, Sannyasis. You go to them and request them, please give your clothes, I will wash it. If prasadam is cooked, you go and serve prasad to them. And they will not keep their mouth shut. They will give you a lot of good instructions. And they will correct us. They will elevate us. We will get help, surely. Vasudeva Kataruchi increases and pride is diminished when you associate with saintly people. Harshamad is asking, how will I know which Mahajan out of 12 to follow? Actually, all of them follow only one path only. Mahajano yena gata sappanta. That one path is Vaishnava path. You follow Prabhupada. He is the modern Mahajan. He is available through his books and the movement. Anil Sahu, at the age of 25, as said, we need to take responsibility for family and earn. But at the same time, how to be very much connected to Krishna consciousness and serve Krishna What is your recommendation? Actually, when I told you engage and earn, I clearly told you should engage in Bhakti Sukriti activities and earn the Bhakti Sukriti. Not only just get engaged in marriage and go for a job and earn your livelihood. That is the external meaning. So how to do both? Just now I told you in the class. Early morning spent for Krishna, morning for Krishna, evening for family, and daytime for profession. How to concentrate on study in this fearful situation? Okay, if you are fearful about corona, what can you do about it? Tell me. Can you catch all the corona in the world and put it behind the prison or something? You can't do anything. It is so tiny, very difficult to spot out. So the fear is useless. We have to understand that. Ultimately, corona cannot do anything beyond Krishna's wish. So you take shelter of Krishna, chant the holy name, and focus on your study. Corona has to come, it will come. If it shouldn't come, it won't come. Don't worry. Prashant Prabhu, how can one go back to Godhead in this lifetime only? What type of sadhana is needed? Actually, if you have to go back to Godhead in this life, Prabhupada says, if you attend the Mangalarti, the whole morning program, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, and end the devotion service, and constantly you should keep your day preoccupied with Krishna consciousness. Actually, anybody who is going from one Krishna conscious activity to another regularly like this, his activities all become spiritualized. His body, mind, words become spiritualized also. Then actually he is eligible to enter the kingdom of God. So we have to spiritualize our thought, word, activities if you are going to go back in this life. Vishwajit Patrap is asking how to avoid speculating mentally, which always keeps happening in our mind. So study Prabhupada books and repeat without changing anything. If you are unable to repeat, then just read out from Prabhupada book. Tell people this is what Prabhupada says. And the speculation will evaporate. Tanmay Singh Anapur is asking, how can we counter tendency to be selfish and develop compassion? Opposite of selfishness is selflessness and compassion. So you have to act selflessly. How do you do that? When you feel like eating prasadam, immediately rush to the prasad mahal with the plate. Keep the plate aside and serve some prasad to devotees. Correct, no? Similarly, when Mayapur prasad comes, immediately we want to bake and eat first, and then we think I'll give to others. So don't eat. Give it to others first. Whatever is left in the end, you eat it. Do some selfless activity. So extend yourself, sacrifice yourself, do it, act it out. Then you will be able to do it. And also you should see compassionate Vaishnavas. When you see how compassionately devotees are trying to serve, you will get inspired. Patapan Sahaprabhu is asking how to pray and prepare at 75. So for that we can sing Vaishnava songs. We can also recite the prayers of Gajendra, Prahalad Maharaj, and there are dozens of prayers in Bhagavatam. Recite those prayers, recite the Vaishnava songs, and cultivate the mood of prayer. If you in this live.radheshyamdas.com, in that I will put one PPT called how to offer prayers. I will put it, tomorrow I will put it. You all can go through that. Very beautifully it explains on how to cultivate the art of praying. And preparing means at the time of death, if you think that I'm getting very old, anytime I'll pass, to make your room filled with devotional pictures, let there be devotional songs going on. Many devotional books are there. You withdraw yourself from quarreling with people, fighting with people, arguing in materialistic activities and all. Just withdraw yourself and fully focus only on spiritual life. Chitturi Krishna is asking, how can one keep consistency in Krishna consciousness? Even after years of practice, still the jiva may deviate. Yeah. One of the first things for this is you have to be in association of devotees who are consistently practicing Krishna consciousness. So you will simply follow them. And you will get inspired to follow also like that. The example is the best thing in our lives. And another thing is mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, consistency and steadiness is very easy. But in passion, you are steady for a while, then you go off track. Again you are steady, again off track. Tamaguna means no steadiness at all. You are overthrown. And then Nigam Londip is asking how to focus on one particular goal, how to one thing at a time. Therefore, we have to take, actually whatever you wish to do, put them all down, take one thing at a time and complete it, keep it aside, then take the second one, complete it, keep it aside, put a timeline for everything and finish it within the time, you'll be satisfied also. Shweta Singh Mata is asking, Which book should I read after completing Bhagavad Gita? You should read all the small books of Prabhupada, medium-sized books, big-sized books, Bhagavad Gita, then you come to Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. And then Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I will also in our site put the list of Prabhupada books in what order we have to read. We will put that list also. Shweta Singh Mataji has asked this question. So others also can see in what order you should read Prabhupada books. Samiran Rag Prabhuji is asking, even after knowing right thing, why do we fall victim to Maya again and again? That is due to past bad habits. The habits impel us. But you can give up the bad habit by substituting them with good habits. That's one thing. Another thing is to keep away from Maya's temptations. Gradually, the bad habits will stop. Just like a bluing bottle, you put water, it's everything going blue. Throw it again, you put water, again blue. But if you keep on putting, there will be no more blueness. It will go away. In the same manner, keep on putting chanting. Chanting will go inside the heart and clench and throw it out. And afterwards, all impurities are gone. Only Mahamantra will remain. Yeah. How to increase mind's attraction naturally, just like it's attracted to sense gratification and run towards it? Wonderful question. This. Yeah, right now we are in a conditioned state, so mind runs to sense gratification. But as I told you, constantly one has to engage in devotional activities. As soon as you get some time, hear, read, chant, sing, connect with devotees. Gradually, Krishna consciousness will become your primary absorption. Sense gratification will go far away. So now these are further questions. Another 3 pages of questions are there, which I won't be able to answer today. This is a question from yesterday. So tomorrow I will answer this. I will begin with this tomorrow. 2 more questions have come today. So he will give me today's questions also. So this one and today's questions, I'll answer them, try to answer them tomorrow. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki. So let's do a short kirtan. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. See, today's topic was about misplaced compassion and the real compassion. Real compassion is spiritual compassion. Misplaced compassion is just material compassion without anything spiritual. If you want to show compassion to a beggar, give him some cookies, prasad, and make him say, Hare Krishna. Then it has become spiritual compassion. Correct, no? If you want to give anything material to anybody, don't give them only material. You will cheat them. But if you connect it with Krishna, then you are giving something spiritual. So in Bharat Maharaj, Bharat became attracted to deer, and he was fondling the deer, and he got lost, and he couldn't give anything spiritually to the deer, like what Shivan Sen could do. On the other hand, he became downgraded from his standard. So let us learn this lesson in our lives, that people who are doing nationalistic activities or communist activities, social activity, many clubs are there in colleges, which are all mundane clubs with mundane activities. They have no connection to Krishna. Unless they are connected to the Lord, there is no spiritual content in them. So without spiritual content, you can't give anything permanent. Other temporary thing. The main discussion today was, if the heart of the living entities is not cleaned, they will always, for example, somebody has you are giving netradan to somebody, blind man. After he gets eyes, if he is seeing dirty movies, what he will do? He is misusing the netradan because his heart is not clean. Correct, no? Similarly, you give a beggar some money, he is going to smoke cigarette and drink liquor, then he gets more money because his heart is unclean. So how can he cleanse the unclean heart? By chanting the holy name. So now we are singing the holy name. Remember this one point. The chanting of the holy name will cleanse the heart. Once the heart is cleansed, any benefit you give can really benefit the person. Therefore, we should never give anything to anyone without giving the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Srila Prabhupada ki Rankaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo